a podcast your mama warned you about. Did ya hear me?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Did You Hear Me? Sleezy here, episode number 22, The Double Deuce. I'm joined by PackMan.
Hello again. Oh,
And,
drama in the background.
Yeah, got a little tornado going on in the background. For those of you watching on YouTube, the sheriff did not shrink and turn into a little girl. This is the little deputy, M&M. Say hello.
Hello.
The sheriff is has his hands full at the moment, so she's filling in until he can get here. But we're joined by our special guest tonight. He goes by many names: Paul Wall, Polly Paul,
PJ.
yeah, goes by many of those names. But we're joined by Paul. We appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, you got to hold down the seat.
Uh-oh, are you tapping? I think he's calling. Did he call you down?
Oh,
Okay, all right.
This
Can
was-
you, hey, say bye. Say bye to all the listeners.
Bye.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you for filling in.
Yes, this was if only the audience knew the links that we go through every week to get this scheduled. Three, and then whoever we have, so usually four grown men schedules with life and kids and work, because we're not able to do this full time yet.
Not yet, but we do it for y'all.
We're this close.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
close to getting
yeah.
that full-time podcast going. So anyways, getting everything scheduled is quite the ordeal. So the sheriff's taking care of a little business while we get started. So he'll be joining us here shortly.
I'll try to keep the seat warm for
Yeah.
him.
So we got a drink of the week I'm not familiar with. It was recommended by our special guest, Paul Wall. Why don't you tell us what we got?
That is Lord Grey from Three Taverns of Decatur. It's a sour with Earl Grey tea.
Interesting.
It's interesting artwork. What is I'm not even familiar with would you call it a Lord Grey tea?
Lord Grey is the,
Earl
Grey.
Earl Grey
Oh,
is
sorry.
the tea.
Earl Grey. What is it?
It's
Tea.
Yeah, tea. It's got a flavor.
like tea. It's a type of. I don't know. I don't know how to.
Why does it have a royal name? Earl
No.
Grey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
The Earl of Tea?
think,
maybe so. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Or is it like some dude up north, Earl Grey?
My grandpa.
Yeah.
It's my grandpa's tea. Yeah.
Hold on. Sheriff's coming up.
Well, we'll wait. We'll wait to crack these Lord Greys.
I just wasn't familiar with the tea. Or the name. Sorry for the suspense here.
They are the fans.
Yeah, we're
Are
waiting.
waiting with bated breath.
We're rolling
There
already.
he is. We're live. So
There we
hey,
are.
there we go.
Effort, we'll do it live.
The little deputy filled in.
I'm sure she
Did
did
a-
a glorious
Did a
job.
fabulous job.
Can I get that door?
There we go. She did a great job filling in for you.
Yeah. Only thing you missed is the introduction of the drink of the week,
Right.
and it's a Lord Grey by Three Taverns Brewing. It's a, what do we say? It's Earl Grey tea sour ale. So there you go, a sour ale with hints of Earl Grey tea.
I got one more job there for you, Sheriff. Sorry, before you sit down.
Come on.
Can you get our illustrious guest, a koozie, out of the box? Man, we got him doing
Man's
everything.
working double time. Working double time today.
We're gonna raise his pay. Don't worry. Instead of
Triple it. Triple.
instead of owing this week, we'll call it even. Doesn't have to pay anything at all.
Thank you.
No
All right.
child care fee.
Yep. All right. Right. Crack them open.
Oh, this just reminded me of a story. The sounds of this can. But give it a sip.
All right. Wow. The Earl has a strong smell when you pop the tap.
It's got a little hints of, I don't know, it's sour. I don't
That's
really
a
get
sour.
I don't really get the tea flavor in it.
It's a sour, that's for sure. I don't know where the Lord Earl put his special touch at.
Yeah.
Sheriff, I wasn't familiar with this. Was a royal Earl or just a regular Earl?
Well, the Duke of Earl.
Yeah, we don't know.
There you go.
We don't know.
I knew this would be right in Pack's wheelhouse.
That's pretty good though.
It is good.
I'm a sour beer fan. I'm a
Pack says
Sour
fruit
guy.
the beer.
Yep. I mean, it's drinkable.
yeah,
It's just pretty good.
Yeah.
Tall wall, is this what you sip on frequently?
Sometimes. I like to try a lot of different stuff.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's better than the blowout I cleaned out upstairs, downstairs, wherever we're at. In the studio, I cleaned it out.
Had a little deputy accident downstairs, huh?
It's gonna happen when you least expect it.
There you go.
Do we have any believers of paranormal activity? This is going to go into
One of the questions.
my story I
okay.
have.
Stat guy.
Paranormal as far as ghosts?
Yeah, ghosts,
Uh,
things weird going on in your house that you can't explain.
I can be swayed.
Paul?
Not really.
Not really. So okay, well, no. So last night, 3:53 a.m.
All right.
I looked at the clock. We hear the sound that you listeners just heard, the pop of a can and the fizz, right? So
Okay.
we think, Sam Sam is my stepson. We think he's in his room, like popping open a soda or something, and we're like, it is 4 a.m. Like,
Come on,
go tell him to go to bed. So Doc Lolliday gets up, goes into his room, and he's out cold, sleeping.
So it's not Sam.
It's not Sam. It's not Brady and Millie. Out cold, sleeping. Everybody's asleep, and we both heard it. Me and my wife both heard it. I heard it, and I thought I was hearing things. And then she said, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "The can opening?" She said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." So it wasn't just me hearing things. Kids are out asleep, all of them. So this is how much I heard it, that I thought somebody opened a can in our house.
Did you get strapped?
I grabbed my gun
He's
out of
strapped.
my nightstand.
He's trying to survive.
And
Yeah, he is.
and I went downstairs and cleared my house. And the scariest part about that is I have a child, Brady, who loves to hide and jump scare and try
Yeah.
to scare people. I actually posted a video of him doing it on
That's
my
true.
Instagram the
True
other
story.
day. So, and that's the thing I was most nervous about when I get down there. Well, anyway, he's in the bed. I go down there. Nothing, the alarm is on. All the doors and windows are closed and locked, just like how we left them when we went to bed.
No jump scares.
No jump scares, no nothing. Just me and my skivvies and my gun clearing my house.
You didn't go down in the flesh?
But
And knees are quivering.
hey,
Either way, the knees are
didn't
quivering.
have my underwear pants on either, just my regular length underwear. But yeah, nothing in the house. All the kids were asleep, and me and my wife both, as clear as day, heard
So,
a can pop open.
Check the pantry, you checked everything.
Everywhere. And so there is.
Okay.
What is the explanation?
If it was at my house, I would have been looking for Scott Bobby exacting his revenge. But there's only one explanation for that.
Yeah,
Your
Paul.
house.
Paul, what do you think?
I don't know.
Are you convinced?
Are guns any good
Deputy
against
Sheriff
ghosts?
Uh-huh.
Are guns any good against ghosts?
Well, it wouldn't have been
Worth a shot.
yeah, literally worth a shot. What am I going to do? Got to try something. But no human presence. All the kids were asleep.
First time you've had that in your house, though, right?
First time. Yeah.
Or that you've been awake?
Yeah, the first time I've heard it. So
Okay.
again, this was 3:53. Now I'm gonna wake up at 3:53 every day and try to see if I hear this noise. I don't know. It's interesting though. I cannot explain it. Normally,
Podcast is on it.
I have. Yeah, I'd be curious what
This is all leading up to an Alien Ricky appearance.
Yeah, it is. I'd be curious if the listeners have any.
Yeah, I don't know.
Input.
The only reason I said if you checked your pantry is because I saw a video of somebody rubbing a Sharpie on a can and it makes it pop open. Like the top right here, instead of going back,
Oh,
just
I didn't
rubbing
know
the
that.
Sharpie.
Well, and here's the other
That's
thing.
what
We
the
don't.
ghost was doing.
Yeah.
We don't have any cans in our. So my beer
no
fridge is in the garage.
Yeah.
Plot thickens.
So yeah, so we don't even have any
That
cans
was
in the
a
house.
key piece of
Yeah,
the story
sorry.
there.
Yeah, we don't even have any. So I thought initially we thought Sam snuck some sodas home from Scott Bobby's house,
Yeah.
something like that, and
Scott
popped
Bobby.
one open in the middle of the night, which would have been fine, but that was not
Yeah.
the case. So I have no
So
explanation.
he's not the culprit this time.
Not
Well,
this time.
I see your
hopefully-
eyeball and that nod.
No, I was just saying, I'm gonna go ahead and call Sam out. Because wasn't he sneaking stuff like the worst? You can tell it because I don't want to ruin
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's the worst sneaker ever.
So the main reason
I got a few sneakers that might
we thought he
rival
was
Sam.
Yeah.
he thought he was sneaking. We thought he was sneaking soda last night when we heard it. is he's done that before. So we had, you know, whatever, Coke, and it was Coke. We had some, like a 12-pack of Coke, right? And the 12-pack of Coke, like, is dwindling down. And so we go outside and we see Coke cans out in the yard. Initially, this was years ago when we were getting our pool installed. So we thought it was the guys installing the pool, like just leaving their trash out there. Nope, it was Sam sneaking sodas up into his room, opening his window, and tossing them out right in front of his own window. He didn't even like walk down or toss it to the side or anything. So
hey, it wasn't in his room.
Yeah, that's right.
No face, no case.
No one.
So anyway,
got blamed for that.
Yeah, out there, all those diligent workers. You immediately went to them when they have Hispanic orientation.
They were hard working. They were very hard working.
They were not drinking Cokes.
They were.
Well, they brought their own Cokes, like the ghost.
They did take a lot of peaches off the peach tree, though.
That's right there.
That's a true story. It was right there. It's right there by the pool. And
Nathaniel blew over for a theft.
No peaches left on the peach tree when we got our pool installed. But anyway, enough about me and my ghost haunted house.
I have learned the hard way. If you have people over to your house to work on things, be prepared to be very, you know, share your things, because the workers will just help themselves. Now they won't steal anything, like steal,
right?
Like,
yeah,
you know, but peaches, firewood, you know, whatever. They'll just use whatever's out there.
That's right. That's right.
I guess it's if they're over at your house working, they're part of your community.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure we give some time here, because Paul Wall and Polly Paul, we call him that for a reason.
That's right.
And I joke, but it's not really a joke, because when I see him and I pass him, I always want to put my tinfoil hat on, because I think he's reading my mind. Because he is a licensed or trained?
I guess trained.
Certified? Is there a certification?
I got a diploma from the school.
Oh, there you go.
So he's certified polygrapher?
Polygraph examiner.
Polygraph
examiner. Ooh.
Polyamorous?
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous? Maybe not. Another
A lot of
episode.
onesies going to be given out.
Not to be confused with somebody who has more than one wife.
That's it.
But you have a polygraph. You run a polygraph.
That's right.
Machine?
Instrument.
Oh, it is getting a little flirtatious.
Instrument.
Paul Wall from Georgetown, Texas. Married to Crystal. Go ahead, Paul Wall. Just want to give the listeners a background on you.
Well, Paul Wall was a rap sensation. He's a white rapper from Texas, and that is
from the
where
Caucasus Mountains.
And that is where I got Paul's nickname from, way back in the day when we worked together. Just called him Paul Wall, because he's also electric. So how many weeks is this training to get the certification?
10 whole weeks, 40 hours a week.
Oh man, that's like going to a police academy, essentially.
It's double the dog man training.
Pretty intensive.
Yeah. All that for fake science. Okay, carry on.
So what do you do for 10 weeks?
Learning about how.
Or can you talk about it?
Oh, it's no secrets.
Okay, all right.
But learning how the instrument works, how to generate the questions, how to score the charts, how to do the interviews.
So you go to this training and you go in there with your little machine every day?
Instrument.
Instrument.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a machine and an instrument?
An instrument's precise.
Okay.
Here we go.
Right.
Yep. Pack's
all right, full disclosure.
Already a naysayer.
Full disclosure. And Paul Wall was very, he was aware of this when he came in. We're going to be shooting shots at him because we're not convinced about this stuff.
Yeah.
I like the questions though, but
yeah, just full disclosure. He's aware of it, but we are coming at him because as PackMan has already said. Fake science.
I think I'm the youngest Athenian on this panel.
Correct.
We're talking about Athenian employment.
Correct.
And I did not have the pleasure of Paul Wall. I had the pleasure of Jeff.
Yep.
Gotcha.
With 2 F's. Who has been who has become
Chief
got
does
some
that.
got some notoriety, or he's a little infamous at the moment. We'll
That
just
he
leave
is.
it at that.
Um,
More code talk for you.
so 10 weeks, and every day you just bring your instrument in there, plug it up, and y'all do different. What I don't know. How does this training? I'm really curious on how do you get trained on this. Do you do one-on-one or is it group training? What do you do?
A little bit of classroom, then you'd practice on each other. So you have,
Yeah, role play. I knew it was coming.
Okay. So,
but they've got I don't know 10 or so polygraphs there at the school, and
where is the school at?
it is when I went. It was in Stockbridge,
Hogwarts.
but I think that
This is at on another planet.
It was in Stockbridge, like at a facility.
yeah.
Okay, so this wasn't like a.
Oh, I thought this
They
was
rented
through
a conference room at the Holiday Inn Express, and
Well, it was actually at a hotel, but
I knew it. I knew it.
Man, I need to take
So
this
they
class.
just, yeah, they
it was a permanent building attached to the hotel.
okay. Okay.
Is the hotel like where you get the consumers from? Just call, hey, let's figure out if you're lying. Come on.
It was lower end hotel.
A lower end hotel.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
perfect.
is all setting up.
People that will lie.
I imagine the instructor had a tie that stopped about mid belly and a short sleeve shirt. Yep. That's what I imagine.
Dressed like the king the first time he came on the podcast.
Yep.
Sleeveless?
That's what short sleeve with a tie. Clip on, obviously.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
could
that.
see Paul teaching one of these classes, how slippery he is.
So how does this instrument work? Like, how does it detect truth? Like, well, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So when you tell a lie, you're afraid of getting caught, and that fear is going to cause that physiological reaction that all the components are going to detect, and then based on what I'm seeing on that screen, I can make an assessment.
Wait a minute. So what if I'm scared of the answer? So okay, I'm a suspect of whatever you want to a murder,
Right. Okay.
And I say I'll take a lie detector test,
Right.
or whatever we call it,
Yeah.
polygraph exam.
Okay.
And you say, okay, hook me up. I know that you think I killed somebody, right? I'm your all's murder suspect. That's why I'm there talking to y'all. There's it's background noise. Okay.
The deputies are here.
That's it. That's why I'm there, because y'all think I did something.
You're already
and
under suspicion.
I'm already
And
under
you're trying to
suspicion.
clear your name.
I'm trying to clear my name.
Okay.
So you hook me up to this instrument, and you start asking me questions about a murder, or whatever. Did you kill your wife?
Right.
This random other person.
Did you bring your machine with you to hook him up right now?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, maybe I should.
We need to
Oh,
call
sorry.
and check
So-
on her. too.
Instrument.
So okay. So you asked me, did you kill your wife? I am going to naturally be scared and be fearful to answer that question, because I already think that you're going to think I'm lying about it, because that's why I'm there. So I'm probably going to have a natural what is it?
Physiological.
Response.
Yeah.
Sean's already failed the class.
Yeah.
So
You gotta spell it 100 times. too.
yeah, that's right. So you see a reaction on there, and you're, I guess, is that
Yeah.
how that works?
So the example I always give is, say that you did kill your wife.
No, we're not. No.
We can go over the top there.
Ford's
Pat.
mixed over there.
Yeah, we're getting excited over here.
Crossing streams.
This is a good question, though.
Yeah. All right. go
All
ahead.
right. So, let's assume that you didn't, and then
As
so
we
if
should.
I ask you about did you kill your wife, I might also ask you, are you sitting in a chair, or are the lights on in this room? And if you're telling the truth, you shouldn't have much of a reaction. But if you
Well, I wouldn't have a reaction to those, because that has nothing to do with why we're there. I react to the question of did you kill your wife, because I know you think that I killed her. So that makes me nervous
'Cause you did.
anyway.
but it
As
was,
a
So you're just waiting for like the big question.
yeah, so as a black man who's just trying to survive out here in these streets,
He's just trying to survive.
you know, I may already have some apprehension. So do you take race as a factor?
No, but you are acting awful guilty.
Already?
Fake science. Fake
He
science.
doesn't even need the instrument.
So I react because you asked me about a murder, and I'm like, oh my God, they think I killed her. This makes me scared to answer this question. My answer is no, but I'm still nervous because y'all are asking me about a murder.
But
That would make me nervous.
I guess what Paul Wall's saying is that they would ask what appears to be outlandish questions in a real polygraph to set a baseline, correct?
Right. So we've got kind of a baseline what we're looking at, and
Yeah.
somebody.
So you ask
if you
questions that you already
truly
know.
did the crime,
Yeah.
you're going to have a much bigger reaction than just being nervous about being interviewed about the incident.
So you're Paul. You're saying
You're not going to convince Pack.
No, not at all.
you would be able to tell the difference between nervousness and potential deception.
Yeah,
based off your training
there'd be a definite
or the instrument.
definite much bigger reaction for somebody who's being untruthful.
But how do you know that? Humans are fickle. One person may respond with a high reaction about nothing, and one person may respond with a high reaction about a lie they're telling. How do you?
Humans are fickle and very destructive if they're related to me.
We're going, part of the interview in the beginning, we'll kind of sort some of that out, where we'll
Gotcha.
make it clear that we're only looking for the person who truly did this. And if you're telling the truth, you won't have that reaction.
If Paul smiled at me like he is right now, I'm very calm.
So
So could
that's how
somebody
I
who's
get
a good liar then? Let's flip it. So if I'm a seasoned
You
liar
did kill your wife.
and I did kill my wife, and you asked me that, and I'm cool as a cucumber, would it not?
But
Could
deep,
I not have a response?
I think deep down inside, you'd still be afraid of getting caught and going to prison.
This is such
All
a
right.
load of crap. Give me a break.
So do you use the terms pass and fail a polygraph
Yeah, I
exam
wanted
this
to ask
day and
about
age?
the results.
Yeah, that would be, we'd say you passed or you failed. Generally in
So y'all
the,
still use those terms?
yeah.
Okay. I thought the term, well, doesn't
Show
matter.
deception, or that's what I thought the results were.
Well, yeah, maybe the official results would be that, but
Okay.
if I found out that you did fail in the interrogation afterwards, then I would say, look, dude, you failed.
So during my
Members of the community never lie, Sean, so I don't know why you're upset about it.
Well, when I was getting hired, they asked the question about, like, have you ever done drugs or smoked marijuana or something like that, or whatever. However, the question was phrased.
False.
It's been 15 years since I've done that. Tomorrow is my 15-year anniversary with the
Cheers.
I like
place
this.
I'm at, by the way.
This is good stuff, Paul.
Yep.
But so the examiner at that time was asking about drug use or marijuana or whatever, and I had never touched a drug in my life, never smoked marijuana, not one time, never had the desire,
Well,
don't have the desire to
We
now,
need the
even if
instrument.
it
Did you
became
wonder
legal.
why, when you were filling out the pre-questions for that, when you clicked your race, it automatically went yes? Did you wonder why?
It auto-generated. Actually, this has been so long ago that it wasn't online. It was
handwritten.
It was a paper form. I thought I had to fax in, I think, or mail.
So they gave you the black form?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I said, no, never done it. And he said, at the end, he was like, oh, I got a response on this. Is that just a trick? Is he trying to trick me into, like, admitting to something? Or do you think he really got a response on that? I
Good
know
question.
it's hard for you to know because without seeing the test, but is that something that you would do? Or, like, is there a little response? Is there a such thing as a little response? Or is it just a response or no response?
Yeah, there could be a little response, but if you're being untruthful, it's going to be a much bigger response than you would had it been.
Maybe he's
So that
just
goes
judging
back-
a book by its cover. Is that what you're asking?
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is truly polygraph related because I'm interested. So so this would be evidence of me being truthful, but yet because of the question, I was, I don't know, nervous, or I knew he wasn't going to believe me because,
Yes,
of
I
my
think
appearance.
it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
There you go. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty here.
And so maybe I had a response to that question, even though I was truthful. Now, multiply that times 100 for somebody who's even more nervous or who's like just super scared for whatever reason about this question, even though they're being honest. Could that show up as dishonesty, or could there be a large reaction? And you're saying no.
No, I don't. I think if you're truly being dishonest, you're gonna have a much bigger reaction.
So you have a pretty good. How many polygraph exams do you estimate you've done at this point?
Probably at least 200.
Okay.
Is it a test, or is it an exam, or is there a difference? Or what do you call?
I don't think there's a real difference, but I'd probably say exam. But
okay, sounds.
But I think it's either one. It doesn't really matter that much.
So you've done 200. So obviously that's a lot, and that doesn't even include when y'all practiced on each other. So you've done a bunch of tests. So you feel confident based off all these tests that the instrument helps you identify. Like you feel confident in that.
Yeah, I think there definitely
helps you identify
some
deception
that have come in that have failed and then admitted to what they were lying about.
Is that the end goal?
Well, that's stupid. Like,
they're not trying to survive.
No, they are not. I mean, I don't know. I have my doubts about it. Thank you for your confidence in it.
So
I do go ahead.
Have some conversations through other. I don't feel like I'm giving any secrets away because the TV and all that. I've already seen it on television shows and you can confirm this, that the polygraph exam results can't be used in court.
That's what I was exactly
unless both parties agree, or say at the end of the polygraph, say if I do the polygraph, you lied, and I say, look, dude, you lied. There's no doubt about it. You said, all right, you got me.
You can use that.
Then I could use that.
Okay, but you can't use the instruments.
I thought the results were inadmissible.
But the conversations.
So I may not be able to say he failed a polygraph in court, but I could say during an interview he admitted that he did the crime.
So that would lead back, I guess, to Pack's point. Is it how much of it is a charade and how much of it is actual science?
I mean, I think there's a lot of it is the interview skills of the interviewer.
Paul Wall's got him.
He does.
Yeah, I mean,
but the machine helps point. So what my point I was getting to with talking to other people that have used these things, these instruments, is when the machine indicates some deception, it's a clue to go back and revisit that area. It may not be the specific question that you asked. Maybe something to do with it. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess so. If there is some indication in that particular topic that there's fear or you're having that reaction on that particular question, then that does suggest that. Well, maybe as an example that.
So the one particular store, without any specifics, because I can't reveal the sources, there was a particular person.
More code names.
Taking one. No, no code names. I just can't reveal anything. But it's a hilarious end result. Taking a polygraph exam, showed deception underneath a particular question having to do with breaking the law previously.
Okay.
And so then that was the clue to ask more questions about this breaking the law. And it turned out he had carnal relations with a dead deer.
God.
This is a true story.
This is a true story.
Oh my gosh.
See, it works. See, it works.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't know if that's the instrument working, Paul, as much as it is.
Yeah, but without that, nobody would have known to ask like a pointed question about that because they had said no before.
All right, so the polygrapher asked about bestiality, or
No,
they asked
no.
about just breaking the law?
I think
Breaking the law.
And
Because
then-
they showed deception.
And then they tried to expand on
Yes.
that, and then he
Correct.
admitted to,
For whatever reason.
for whatever reason, he admitted to
I would have
crime.
said I robbed somebody.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Other than to admit that.
Yeah. Any other crime on the book.
Any other. I would have admitted.
Well, that being my point is that I have had the opportunity to meet several polygraphers throughout my illustrious career in the southeastern United States, and a lot of them do favor the beautiful Paul Wall here, where they are slippery. And so that's part of I think it's as much the human that is interviewing you as the instrument. I just think the instrument provides the
that's a good
nervousness.
That's a good follow-up question. In your training, session in the back room of a hotel on the side of the interstate.
With, what is it? The Lion's Den
Yeah.
beside it?
Man, it's amazing. Them things are all over the country. I've been on plenty of
I don't
road
know how
trips,
they survive.
and there's a lion's den everywhere.
I don't
Sorry.
wanna know.
Go with your question.
So, did you, in your class, did you identify individuals that you were like, they're pretty terrible at this? You know, like
No, I
anything.
There may have been one or two, but
I guess my question is, just because they passed the training doesn't mean they're necessarily a successful polygrapher.
maybe not. But I think that most of the people that would go to the class are kind of pre-selected to be better.
That's a good point, because
My
it is
point.
expensive. Correct?
Yeah.
My point. Anybody I met is either very suave like
got you.
Paul or maniacal. Or both.
Like Paul.
Can you take this like as a private citizen? Can you go get certified?
Yeah, I think there's the main requirement is either college degree or some experience in investigations.
Huh. Okay.
This kind of makes me want
Yeah,
to do it.
because
just
I think,
to see behind the curtain.
Like private investigators, I think, and some like
Good
Yeah.
point.
law firms I've heard of having
Yeah.
people on staff that can do it, but I don't know. I'm
Kind
not
of random.
convinced.
Didn't they offer OJ did he take a polygraph or they
Don't know
offered
about
him
that.
one?
I don't
I would
remember.
assume he denied it, but I need to
Hey, the
check
glove
with
didn't
that.
fit.
Yeah, he must have quit. Yeah, that's
Oh boy.
talk about a polarizing case, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, that's a whole.
I'm gonna check with the stat guy here. Y'all go
Well,
ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. But you feel, from what I'm hearing from you, you feel confident at a high percentage rate that you could tell somebody's being deceptive about a question that you asked.
Yeah, I think we've definitely caught people that have lied about their drug use. Or
Okay.
that I think our recruiters do a good job of picking people before they get the polygraph.
I got you.
But there have been a few that have
So just
come and
just to explain that, you do mainly pre-employment
that's right.
polygraphs at this point.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
probably lack of time to do more criminal ones.
Gotcha.
Vanity Fair says he scored a -24.
That's
Oh,
really
right.
lying.
What does that mean?
It is really
That
lying.
is a quote, total failure is what it says here. We're
But
going
see,
straight to the
again-
source.
But
Almost.
the results of fake science don't matter.
They don't, but it's just interesting. He flat out, according to Paul Wall, he really lied.
Even though he didn't do it.
Yeah, okay. He was acquitted in court, but in the real world, all the evidence showed that he did.
Hey, just saying.
Anyways.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Okay.
Do you not
There you
believe
go.
in your justice system?
I don't.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go, Sheriff. I
gosh.
gave PackMan the anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You did give Raytron and Bali the anyway.
Yeah.
That's when I knew I was okay.
Yeah, the sheriff
I
has
think
a
Sean
complex.
is now the only black person to ever tell me that OJ didn't do it.
Did you watch any of the news coverage, like of the celebrations of, like when the verdict was read out? Every single black person in America like cheered. Listeners, he did it. I think he did it. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know,
But
that's why I'm bearing down on you.
I'm
I
pretty
need my
sure-
instrument.
I'm pretty sure every.
Well, that was.
I don't know. Well, that's another. We can
That's a
talk about
cliff,
this some
yeah.
other. Yeah.
All
I
right.
think that has more to do. The celebration, I think, would have more to do with the justice system.
I agree.
and
We
being
can
able to throw shade at it.
we
then.
can move on from this topic.
Correct. All right.
I know you're a true believer, Pat.
Paul Wall is also a world traveler.
That's right.
I don't know if you still do this, so I may be putting you on the spot, and you may say something that I really wasn't expecting. But how do you? What's your strategy for traveling? Like when you're when you have some vacation time coming up, you
Okay.
used to have a pretty good strategy.
I usually just look for a good deal. and
That's what I was hoping you would
go
say.
where the deal is.
So you're looking like Google Flights or something. and-
Usually Google Flights.
Yeah.
I've got a subscription to a email list that sends
Oh,
good flight deals.
okay. A little pay for play, or is it free?
It does cost. But
Hey, but you're a world traveler. You can
It's,
afford it.
it's made up its fee, I think.
So you just literally get on when you have vacation time or have a time of the year that you want to go somewhere and just look and see what the deals are.
Either that, or occasionally it'll be somewhere I want to go. But
Yeah. So where's like the most that you can recall, like the most random place that you ended up at based off of a cheap flight?
Good question.
I don't know. It's Maybe either the Faroe. Well, I don't know. Faroe Islands was a little bit expensive. Argentina and Uruguay was a real good deal.
Okay, and you just saw the deal. Never really had any plans to go there.
I've always wanted to go to Argentina.
Okay,
but
Well, I know why.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's
Same
right
reason
up
I wanna
the
go.
right up the sheriff's alley right there. Which
Have to get a hall pass for that trip.
so, anyway, I'm not even gonna ask my question. I don't think I should. Keep going.
No, go ahead, Pat.
Nope.
so when you go, once you find your cheap flight, do you travel cheap, or what do you do once you do that?
Well, pretty much. I mean, I think the airfare is oftentimes the most expensive.
Yep.
Hotels can kind of add up because
Do you
you
have?
don't want to stay in the super cheap hotel because I think we all know what happens
That
there.
is correct. Listeners, if you aren't familiar with super cheap hotels, they're cheap for a reason.
That's right. I'm assuming you have points for hotels too. So do you get a lot of stays like just using points for? Are you a Hilton or a Marriott guy? Either
Actually,
or.
both.
Okay.
The kind of going back to the polygraphs. When I went to polygraph school, I stayed in the hotel for 50 nights.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
was able to parlay that into
Yep.
being a big shot with Marriott.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
didn't
Yeah.
have to turn those over to certain people.
No, got to keep them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a Mrs. Paul Wall, right?
Is there a Mrs.?
No, there's not.
All right, so you're
Ladies?
solo travel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you go over there, what do you do?
No, just see the sights, eat some food, drink some beer.
That's a great answer.
That sounds awesome to me.
That's a polygrapher's answer there.
Yeah. What?
You expect
what-
him to paint us a scene from the dirt or something? He's hanging out with Motley Crue.
What country
He's got to
has?
keep his job.
What country has the best beer that you've been to?
England has some really good beer.
I could. Yeah.
So they trade it off with the food. I've never been. I shouldn't talk smack.
Yeah.
I've heard their food is bad.
London's got a lot of stuff going on. So
Okay.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay. Right? Isn't he from London?
I'm not sure.
It sounds like it.
Somewhere from.
Oh, stat guy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
stat guy. Okay, what's
They
the?
got a zombie knife ban. Sorry, I'm getting political. They got the UK's in a knife ban situation at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
I'll go back to Gordon Ramsay. Sorry.
Do you have a a place that you went to just like kind of on a whim that you just loved or feel like you just want to go back again? And then on the flip side, is there a
Yeah.
place that you went to that you were like, this sucks, I regret coming here? Anything like that?
Yeah, I would say that Uruguay didn't have much going on. It was
Yeah.
kind of dirty, a lot of graffiti, and mildly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
it's not a good combination.
No, not at all.
But then Argentina was really, really nice. A real modern city and tremendously cheap.
Tremendous.
Yeah,
You live
so
like
you're
a
like
king.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, took the words right out of my mouth. You living like a king in Argentina?
Yeah, I got the exchange rate was 900 pesos to the dollar.
Ah,
So
okay.
$100 bill, I got 90,000 peso notes.
Man.
And
Man, they call you the El Rey de Blancos, King of the Whites.
I'm beginning to see what's going on here.
So have you gone back?
I would like to, but
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
I'd like
one
to-
you're on the lookout
Yeah.
for, huh?
I would like to go with you.
You're gonna.
Paul.
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say.
I'll
You,
be your wingman.
yeah, there you go. Which country has the best women?
maybe
Argentina. Which one?
Latvia, maybe.
Latvia.
I don't even know.
Where is that?
Where
Sounds like
that
a
is.
hard USSR.
Yeah, and like northern Europe, up in the Balkans.
Ah, okay. Interesting. That is not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting.
I am not surprised because on my wife's Instagram, sometimes I end up in rabbit holes, and the European women are a little different look than the United States, but they are sharp.
I'm going to look it up because I'm not going to waste time having you explain it. But what do you do in Latvia? Like, what does one do?
See the sights.
See the sights, drink the beer, eat the food.
Paul, stick to
And
it,
in this
Paul.
case, look at the women.
Where to live?
Maybe more.
Or maybe, hey.
Gordon Ramsay is from Johnstone, UK, but Johnstone is in Scotland, so we're giving you half credit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Half credit for
There we
that.
go. All right, half.
A lot of, well, I don't know. I'm Scottish and I'm white, so I'm assuming there's a lot of whites.
All right. What about before we? I see.
No,
I see
fine.
you getting the questions. What about?
Just getting ready.
So we've talked a lot about international travel. these deals? Do you only do it internationally, or is there places like in the country that you like? I really want to go there, or have gone there and that are cool? Or
I think I've been to 45 or so with the U.S. states.
oh,
Which ones are you
nice.
missing?
Yeah.
Kind of in the center, like Oklahoma,
It's not even worth
Nebraska.
your time.
And
Milwaukee.
then,
No, he's been. Hey, no, he.
yeah, I
Paul,
was actually born in Milwaukee.
I was just gonna
All right.
say.
I'm a
Yeah.
cheesehead, man.
Yeah, I think we're brothers.
I believe it. You got a foot in both camps.
That's it. That's it. If not brothers, we're long lost cousins.
Yeah.
So breaking
Ah,
news,
that's
Paul
it.
and I are related. So
Very
what?
nice.
Where do you not like in the country that you've been? And I know you're gonna say Vegas, and it's gonna tick me off. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's the greatest-
I wasn't thrilled with Vegas, but
I agree with you, Paul.
No.
Are you a gambler?
yeah, I like blackjack. But
Oh, yeah.
See, that's
I'm
surprising to me because
Jack of African American descent.
yeah, it was just kind
Tom
of.
Jack.
I like that. I like that.
Anyway, the paint is Tomcat black, so anyway, we're down
Moving
a rabbit hole right now. Yeah.
Tell us about Vegas, Paul.
Yeah, what didn't you like?
Yeah, I thought it was too crowded. It was kind of expensive, and the it smelled like weed.
It does.
All of that is true. Yeah, I mean that is
Very
true. I just
black.
think there's no other place that I've been to. Granted, I'm not the world traveler like you are, but that offers as much as Vegas does. I mean, you can be a degenerate, or you can be like fine dining. You can go to shows. You can go hike. You can go kayak 4 miles
play
down
softball,
a
like
river.
Sheriff.
You can
play softball.
You
I
can
mean,
go to Top Golf.
you can take pictures with Mounties in the bathroom.
Sheriff.
So
Winnipeg Honor Guard, but close.
okay. If you can't tell, love Vegas. I would go.
Well, I'll throw a
every
plug
year.
in there for Vegas
Yeah.
because I am not a huge fan of the Strip. I think it's something you should see in your life. But if you have the time and the ability to get a car, it's a great home base because you can go 2 hours in north, south, east, and west and go to some really cool places.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what special agent.
The Hoover
did.
Dam.
Hoover Dam,
Yeah.
Death Valley,
Dam, yeah.
Valley of Fire State Park, which
Yeah.
is right outside one of the most crazy, out of this world places I've been to.
Alien.
And, yeah.
Ricky was very jealous when I went up to the extraterrestrial highway.
Ooh.
See, I mean, so how do you not love Vegas? What's not to love about Vegas?
I understand what he's saying. If
Yeah.
you're actually in
Yeah.
the city limits of Vegas,
Yeah, it can get overwhelming and a little much.
It can, but I just think there's even, of course, on the strip there's a ton to do, but even like y'all are saying, outside, you're not far away from doing other things. You can get in a tandem kayak with your wife and almost get divorced like I did. I mean, there's just so
right
much.
before you killed her.
So much to do. So I don't know. We can move on. What about favorite place in the country that you've been to of the 45 states?
There's a little town up in northern Idaho that's just real. It's kind of surrounded by
Potatoes?
no trees and hills, so it looks all isolated. And there's only about 1,000 people, but it's got about 10 restaurants, 2 breweries, a couple of hotels.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Where in Idaho?
I'm glad I asked because
Up in northern Idaho, it's called Wallace.
Wallace.
Wallace,
You heard it.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wallace and your 1,000 residents, you're about to be overrun.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you hear me
Yeah,
on
that's
Did you?
right.
All of
The
them.
dozens
All
and
the
dozens of listeners are making their way to Wallace, Idaho.
That's right.
Yeah, the cash machines going
That's
with the
right.
revenue. Did he give us another one he didn't dislike, or he did not like? Excuse me.
I think-
trying to give you double negative.
Yeah, I don't know. Vegas would probably be my number one.
You don't want
Not-
to be too negative, Paul Wall.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I totally the 3 reasons you gave are there. It's not necessarily clean. It's definitely got the stank of the skunk and the devil's lettuce, and then you got some people that they are beyond high or intoxicated. I don't know what maybe that's what you meant by the degenerates.
Well, there's a place for everyone. I see what Pat's saying. You can
Yeah,
be
I
the
mean,
poorest of the poor
yeah,
or
the
richest
most
of the rich.
highfalutin person.
something to do.
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
some
right.
vagrants, and I grew up not too far from a very large city. Shout out to Beantown, but their degenerates are on another level in Las Vegas.
Very true. Well, get into some questions so we can get Paul Wall on the road here.
That's it.
his questions are all over the place this week. Some of them very pointed to certain people. So we'll just get through them. How about that?
Let's do it.
We're gonna start with the sheriff, Deputy Double D.
Double D.
He's got one straight for you, and you're gonna have to carry the load on this one because I don't know what he's talking about.
Awesome.
He heard the CCU is hiring and looking for part-time work. What you think about it? You got to tell us what CCU
Oh,
is.
yeah.
first.
I'm lost.
Yeah, CCU is, I believe I can say this because it's a private entity, but that's where I went to K9 unit trainer school, and I will say some positive things first.
Okay.
CCU stands for Custom K9 Unlimited.
Oh.
As far as a detector dog, so if you're looking for, they kind of run the gamut. I did enjoy how they taught the dogs to discover whatever odor. So from a bomb and narcotic dog, which you kind of see most often, to peanut allergy dog.
Oh, there's a dog trained to sniff a peanut
I
allergy?
have seen these kind of things on Instagram, and it's like amazing.
They sniff out the allergy
So
or
this
the
was
things
a-
that would aggravate the
This
allergy.
is a border collie that was dropped off by a family, and I don't. This answer may take a minute, but I believe you can teach a dog to detect, or in some cases sense, if you're talking about maybe sickness or anxiety. But this was a border collie that was dropped off by a family because one of their children. So it was a board and train. So during the day, the dog was at the kennel getting trained. Family drops it off in the morning, picks it up, so that there's still the bond going on with the child. Well, long story short, the child would present any snacks or lunch to the dog. The dog would indicate in a very similar fashion to what a working dog does: sit, stare, obviously.
So this child had a deathly
Correct.
allergic to peanut butter. The
Thank you
dog
for
would sniff out
clarifying that.
anything that had peanut butter in it.
The child.
That's crazy. They can
Yeah,
teach a
I
dog
have
to do that.
seen on social media what you're talking about. The flip side of that, what you were talking about, though, where the dog, I can't remember, some lady had some kind of disease or ailment or something, and the dog would sense when she was going to have
Yes.
let's just say, let's just call it diabetes, and if her
Diabetes.
blood sugar was reaching a certain level. This is not I'm doing a disservice to what it actually was, but I just
That's
can't
pretty
remember.
wild. Yeah.
But the dog would sense when this person was going to go into whatever it was, medical emergency.
That's wild.
And alert the owner that, hey, you're about to whatever you need.
So CCU is training in these types of things, and they do a good job.
For any of the naysayers out there, a human being has about 50, and I would imagine, just like dogs, there are humans that can smell better than others. But on average, human beings are going to have around 50,000 scent receptors. So receptors in the brain, when they smell something, as a human, it goes to those scent receptors in the brain. The dogs have about like 2 million, so it's 40 times that. And so you're talking about, if the example we give at work would be, you smelling a pepperoni pizza or a chocolate chip cookie, we as humans kind of get that conglomerate smell. It's like, oh, grandma's making chocolate chip cookies. The dog's going to smell every part of that. So the dough, the chips, what's in the dough, and so they're breaking down that scent at a much higher level. The way that CCU teaches it, I am a huge fan of. Now, obviously, you can see any type of dog. I help with the border collie, with some obedience training and the detector training. There was a chocolate lab that I helped that already had foundational training and was a firearms detection dog, so a lot of black powder stuff, which is the main component in ammunition, and obviously the firearm itself. The dog could also detect whether the gun was shot or not, or could find either. So a gun that had been discharged versus a gun that hadn't, based on all the different ways that it was trained. That we're not going to go into that, but if you want to buy a detector dog, I 100% approve CCU. But obviously you're seeing a lot of pointy-eared dogs because of the demands of apprehension and tracking, which would put under the umbrella of patrol work for the dog. You're seeing a specific type of dog, and I'm not saying you couldn't teach a standard poodle to bite somebody. I just think the physical demands
You need a certain type of dog.
need a certain type of dog, and that herding class dog is it becomes very easy to those herding class type dogs. So your Belgian Shepherds or Belgian Malinois, that's just an AKA, German Shepherds, Dutch Shepherds, or you may have some cross-pollination between, normally two of those breeds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what apprehended Pack the other week, but looked like a kind of a mutt dog, but that's just to the point. Any dog can bite. Obviously our dogs, we like to refer to it as a grip or apprehension because they are not only attaching themselves to that person, they're going to hold them
Well,
so the authorities can do their deal.
You don't want your punter coming in as a
Correct.
middle linebacker to sum
To
that
go
up.
back to the sports world. But as far as buying a single purpose detector dog, 100% sheriff stamp of approval on CCU. I'm not working there anytime soon, even though my deputy son, I may need a job come the beginning of the week
Oh.
with his destructive anger management behaviors, but I will not be working there, Daniel, but I do like a lot of things they do.
All right,
Good answer.
that's a good. It's very interesting. I got tons more questions. We got to move on.
Yeah,
We can go in the dog world
Hey,
one
We
day.
will one day.
we got unlimited episodes,
Might have
assuming
double,
we don't
might
get
have double
canceled.
D on.
I gotta queue up. Yeah, I gotta queue up the sound effect. The cruise missile was I found it very comical that one episode we went into dogs and I just kept drinking the beer. I didn't want to show my hand at that time.
All right,
and,
I got you.
I'm always learning. About
Well, it's shown now, so we
four-legged
we
friends.
can have a whole episode.
That's it.
All right. Number one incident question. I don't know. It's 14 hours ago, so that would have been. That was late. It was late.
A few cervezas.
Yeah.
He was
He wants to
stealing some
know,
peaches off the tree.
Why we decided to start a podcast? Dimilo. I don't know if I said that right. It means give it to me. Say it.
Damelo.
Oh, Dimilo. Whatever.
Paul can translate for me.
They're down there in Argentina. Senoritas.
Anyways.
Yeah, we wanted to have something to do. I don't have very many hobbies and was interested in doing it. I get to hang out with my friends every week and have other friends on like Paul Wall. So pretty much it. Nothing else. Definitely not getting rich doing it. Just gonna go in debt doing it. That's all I'm doing. So, all right. Simple enough for you, number one, trying to get you on. You keep dodging my question about coming on.
Yeah.
The sheriff told me to write it in Spanish and maybe you would come.
This is cut down on you having to sit on the phone with me for hours on end. So, yeah, well, I think we would do this anyway.
Yeah, we
It
just do
may
it.
not be recorded.
Yeah, we just do it for everybody else to listen to. All our dozens and dozens of listeners.
God's special people seem to like it.
Well, God bless them. All right, so those are two personal questions. We'll move on. CNN, Computer Nerd Nick, for those that didn't listen in the early episodes, it's our buddy CNN. He had an interesting question. Who is the most overrated professional athlete of all time? I think Pat was primed for this one.
I'm ready. So
Ready to go.
I will, for the sake of this argument, consider this a sport, but I don't even consider it a sport. So that's how irrelevant this person is to me. And this person got a lot of fame. I don't know if they ever won or had any success in their profession, but they are a big name, and that would be Miss Danica Patrick.
Oh,
Most overrated athlete. So if we're
Tenderoni.
No,
if we're considering NASCAR a sport, which is questionable in and of itself, but let's, for argument's sake, consider NASCAR a sport.
okay.
Did she win anything ever? Not that I know of. I don't think she's ever won. I don't think
She
she's
raced with the
A
men.
couple years with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, my point exactly. She was weird with Aaron Rodgers. My answer, most overrated athlete of all time, Danica Patrick.
That's just
Is
because
that
she's
also
a woman.
you don't like women drivers?
Paul, don't get me canceled. God. Yeah. Maybe if she were in the kitchen, I'd have thought she was doing a good job. Just kidding, ladies.
Her feet
Just
weren't
kidding,
big enough to
ladies.
hit the pedal.
Yeah.
Come on, Pat.
That's it. So that's my answer. Danica Patrick, most overrated athlete of all time.
Okay. Man.
Paul's prime.
I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Yeah,
if you
I
would
didn't
have
know
said
where
that.
you were going.
First of all, it's NASCAR, and I haven't thought about Danica Patrick in a decade. So
Exactly.
She proved that she was the same as men. It didn't matter where she placed.
okay.
Come on, let's go with
So what?
Come on, he took the bait.
No. So anybody can go up there and just not
She
win
had to
anything.
qualify.
Whatever. Okay. Well, so did the
We
other
know that-
athletes.
Yeah.
We know that I'm never going to be concerned or
And this is-
confused
and
with,
this
a,
is-
with a feminist, but
And
I'm
this is
playing
somebody
devil's
who
advocate.
is a big name, right?
It is.
A person that can't be an overrated athlete if nobody's ever heard of him. This is someone that most people that even remotely follow sports quotes for.
Okay, but why were they following? I know why I was following her. It had nothing to do with whether she could strike a gas or a
Well
brake
then,
thing.
even that's to my point even more. That she's even more of an
Okay,
overrated
fair enough.
athlete because if,
But was it her fault because she was an attractive female breaking into
Not
a
saying-
man's world?
not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying she was overrated.
enough.
Which she didn't rate herself.
I guess that's the
everybody
point of
else.
being overrated.
Everybody else,
You don't rate yourself.
You don't rate
everybody
yourself.
else.
Everybody else
Gee.
overrated her, and I just don't see,
Yeah.
other than her being, I guess, remotely attractive.
Yeah.
Not my type.
Remotely attractive.
Whatever. Anyway.
Sheriff,
Yeah,
you got
Sheriff.
one?
I was going to let Paul Wall go first.
Paul, you got any?
I don't have any that.
That's fine.
Not a sports ball guy?
Not as much.
I've got a couple.
Go ahead.
No one name. First of all, 75% of the Yankees players that are in the Hall of Fame,
Bingo.
way overvalued. You can compare their stats to people that played in Kansas City, other small markets, and they didn't have as much face time with the media, and obviously they didn't play on as many winning teams. To me, a lot of those guys, and even the newer generation, Derek Jeter is a great player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but they've elevated him to God status.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess.
Yeah,
I knew you were going that way.
he's probably the one that irks me the most is Derek Jeter of the Yankees, but there's so many of the Yankees that are overrated. And then in basketball, there's this is a very unpopular opinion, but
Please say it.
When
you
you-
just took both of mine, I think.
well, go ahead with yours, and
Yeah.
I'll follow up if you don't hit
No,
on
I
it.
was going to say. I will do another one because I know where you're going. I got to throw shade. Now he has a lot of tendons, has all the tendons, and is a superb athlete. But I'm going with. We've already thrown shade at him before, Lamar Jackson. Because if you look at the
Lamar,
numbers, this past MVP season, I think is very similar to the other one he has.
Yep.
And they are very comparable numbers to Tyrod Taylor.
I saw
in
that graphic.
2016.
I saw that graphic. I didn't really, until they put it side by side, I didn't realize they were so similar. Tyrod Taylor's been not a great quarterback. For everybody who doesn't know who he is,
I would
Lamar
argue.
Jackson is the NFL's new star.
He's exciting to watch.
He
I will
is,
get
very
him.
much.
Yeah, but I don't hate that.
I have seen him run in person for the South Carolina Highway Patrol, and also I saw
From the South Carolina.
negative.
Oh.
The entire state would have lost that race. I was working
You
a
saw him
Clemson
at a game you
football
were working.
game.
I got you.
And those are the two fastest people I've ever seen, whether I was an athlete or not.
Yeah.
Just in my entire existence, was him and Dalvin Cook. And Lamar runs like a deer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not taking anything away from
His athleticism.
his athleticism, just saying. And I would
Well-
say any of our current athletes are overrated because of the physicality of any game. You look at what's being legislated out of the games. If you even go back to, I think I brought it up to Sleezy, that the Oklahoma-Florida BCS National Championship of the late 2010s, there is probably 20 hits in that game that would
You're
have
saying the
been
rules have
illegal.
been relaxed or not relaxed, but the offense has been protected.
Patrick, I would say Tom
more.
Brady. It hurts me to say this, but Tom Brady at the end of his career, his numbers are not comparable to the beginning of his career, and then so on and so forth with
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog, Mahomes, or whatever. If you know you're not gonna get hit, it makes everything easier. Even LeBron in basketball, which I think is where you're going.
You know, that's the easy answer. Is LeBron James is overrated, but he's good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't
he's
know.
just like personally, you know, he graduated from high school. That's where his education stopped. But he wants to talk to everybody like he's it's a hard topic to talk about without sounding like I'm a huge racist, because I'm not.
Just tell him to shut up and dribble.
No.
Yeah, shut up and dribble.
It's just like I don't need LeBron James lecturing me on China's, you know, policies over there when they're like executing tens of thousands of.
I mean, all of that bothers me. Like when celebrities of any,
and so he, you know,
anywhere try to.
He bothers me because of that. But I was going to say the unpopular opinion is whenever somebody, and this goes in music and in TV. I'll give a couple examples of those, but like Kobe Bryant, because he passed away, he has been elevated to deity status. Now he was a great player and had great work ethic.
He was a like carbon copy, lesser copy of Michael Jordan to me. I mean,
and you know Michael Jordan's legacy, because he's still living and doing other things. A lot of the people nowadays don't understand how great he was as a player, because he's been pretty bad as an owner of NBA teams and all that. But you know, like Heath Ledger's the same thing. You know,
all of a sudden he's the best actor that ever.
I mean, you know, if you're a fan of Brokeback Mountain, that's fine. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I've never seen it. But I'm just saying, when you die early, you get elevated to a status.
There's a lot of poison scenes.
I can imagine.
So, anyways, that was my only point in overrated.
I haven't seen it.
Paul, how was it?
Brokeback
Mountain?
Never seen it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Too much longevity going on here. We need a.
Yeah. So, what was Booty Meat, Big Game James? He wanted to know. I don't know if this is a trivia question or if he wants. I don't know. He wants to know what NFL teams are named after something that doesn't exist. So I had to think about this.
Oh yeah.
The Giants? Are there any Giants?
But you could say somebody bigger than the
Oh,
other.
the person is a giant. Yeah.
Shaq, is Shaq a giant? Or Yao Ming?
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
7'5"-ish.
Most teams are named after something.
All right. Let's go through the. Let me think.
That guy.
NFC South. You got Falcons, Buccaneers.
I guess a Saint is
a Saint.
It's kind of abstract.
And a Panther. Okay, so you got those. NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles.
The Commanders.
Commanders.
It's kind of a generic.
Yeah.
It's a title.
But there is a Commander.
Is a Packer.
Yeah. What's the origin of your name? Your team's name?
The Acme Packing Company.
Is that an act? So is he at? Okay, so it's an actual thing or person?
He said that's something that doesn't exist.
Something that doesn't exist. Ooh.
Maybe it's one NFL team. I might be reading it.
LA Chargers?
As CNN has pointed out, sometimes I misread the questions on air.
I'm sure.
I'll read it verbatim. What NFL team is named after something that does not exist?
Okay, that's a little. That helps me out a little bit because I was in baseball.
All right, let's go. NFC West. You got the 49ers.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
The Rams.
Rams and.
Yeah, that other team.
Who
is
it?
Cardinals.
Can we get political with the cruise missile and say
no,
that
there's no Patriots
longer exists?
Freedom. All right, and then the NFC North, we got the Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings.
There were
Vikings.
That was the one that first came to my head, but then
AFC.
I saw our beautiful Nordic friend last night and said Vikings still exist.
That's it. Future guest. We talked about it last night.
Future guest.
There we go.
AFC South. You got. You got a list.
The AFC East: Dolphins, Patriots, the Jets, and the Bills.
What's a Bill?
It's a
Buffalo Bill.
That may be one. But there is some because their actual mascot is a buffalo. But then you look at the early origins of their logo, it was actually Buffalo Bill, I believe that Paul Wall was that
guy.
Yeah.
They've had a little morphing of the logo.
All right, so after looking at the teams, I'm down to, does a Titan exist?
Yeah, that would
Tennessee
be Greek
Titan.
mythology.
And does a Steeler actually exist? Or, I know it's the Steel City.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be probably something similar to Green Bay with the Steelers.
Right.
Where
Steelers is
an
a Packer.
actual company.
Yeah. Booty Meat, send us a follow-up next week and let us know what you were thinking, because I think we're stumped.
Yeah,
I think so.
My guess is the Titans, or if you want to say Vikings don't exist anymore. Maybe their bloodline exists,
Right.
like an actual Viking walking down the street.
All right, so according to my Googling, the Giants.
Oh, my pick.
Yeah,
But to y'all's point, I think there were, I mean, if you are even remotely biblical, there was a
Shout out an excuse.
a giant that
Goliath.
that guy. I don't know.
But he was like 8 foot tall, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like if somebody's
Well, the cubic, needless to say, the biblical measuring
maybe
system
it's,
was a little different. But
Or
if you
maybe
look at
it's
cubits,
actually, I think it's the Seahawks. Because there's no such thing as a Seahawk.
really.
Yeah, that's what
I
it
guess
is.
we're thinking of seagulls,
That's what it is. It's a Seahawk.
Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I
There we
think
go.
Big Booty
Is
James
that-
is going to have to clarify.
Is that right? Booty meat? You
I think
let
I
us
actually
know.
heard that recently. For whatever reason, somebody was talking about the Seahawks. They don't. There is nothing. There's maybe somebody was making fun of Seattle.
As they should.
The Seahawks don't. There's no such thing as
Yeah.
a Seahawk.
Yep, as they should.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
infamous coach.
That was a great podcasting there, everybody. I don't
I
know.
do like. I
I don't know.
got to give Pat credit for going back to the cubits, which is the biblical, and supposedly Goliath. If you convert cubits
Yep.
to inches and feet, which is where we are, he was between 8 and 9 feet, and we'll have to check that with McSadness. But I think human beings are getting back to the giant
Okay.
status.
All right. So our last question was an interesting one, so I saved it for last. This is from
Okay.
the Legal Eagle, Ethan. There's an NFL prospect, Tyler Owens. So they're having the combine this week. They're having a lot of interviews.
I know where you're going.
Got it pulled up.
And he had a well, I don't know if it's perplexing. He said that he wasn't sure that space and other planets existed based off things that he had heard.
Did you listen to the clip I sent you?
I did.
Because he might be a listener.
Yeah.
Because he said the flat earthers,
Yep.
he did not agree with the flat earthers, but they bring up some interesting
points, yeah.
which was almost, I think, verbatim what Pack of the
So-
King said last week, or maybe you.
After a social get-together last night, where we had obviously some adult beverages,
Destruction.
we did have some destruction there. Anyways,
The
too soon to talk
vibes.
about.
That's weird.
The vibes were destroyed.
After
for
leaving
sure.
there and coming back and having some time to think on the couch, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, is there a possibility in any way in 2024 that space could be made up?
I don't.
No.
I can't get on.
All?
Nope, it's there.
Or how do you know though? Tell me how you know.
He's a believer.
I mean, we've been up there.
Have you been up there?
I haven't, but
It would take could you people can't keep a secret about anything. Could you imagine the coordination for the entire planet, everybody on Earth to like have this conspiracy that everything we're seeing, the moon, the sun, all of
And
that is
that's what I always go back to. It would be how do you keep that secret when you have to have the Russians,
yeah,
the Americans, the Chinese, everybody cooperating.
right.
The whole world.
The whole world has to be in on it.
Put your tinfoil hat on, because some people would say there's just a select few that control the whole world, and we're all just the countries and
Yeah.
all these wars is just pawns in their entertainment.
That's true.
Is that like the NPC for our video gamers out there? We're a bunch of non-player
Yes, that's
characters.
correct.
That's it.
Which I think you can go. I will go to the deep dive rabbit hole. I don't believe it, but flat Earth is interesting. Like Pat was saying last week, some people are NPC thing. There's a documentary where flights. I'm not saying flights aren't real, but that they just kind of switch the slides. If you're catching my drift.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee brought that up.
Yeah.
And they went on a tangent. But if you're going to believe there's no other planets, then I think the world's your ashtray, because you can believe anything else.
I can't.
That's like Pat's saying, that's a coordinated effort.
It would be. I don't know how you keep that a secret for that long.
And also, on top of that, like, it would be very naive, and I've said this before on the show, it would be very naive of us to think that we're just, that Earth is the only thing that exists, that, it's just not.
I don't know if we can play his clip, but Tyler Owens is a defensive back, cornerback, whatever, same difference, from Texas Tech. And his immediate answer was, I don't believe this because I'm very religious.
Yeah, but I think you can be religious and realize that there's planets.
Or maybe my question to him
Or
would
believe
be,
in planets.
Yeah.
do you not believe, or is there a possibility that God created other things other than the planet Earth? Because obviously he's thinking, you know, we're getting biblical here.
I was going to say
God
we can
created the heaven. God created heaven and the earth. I guess he's just getting hung on. I'm on earth. God created it. Boom. That's
Yeah, well,
it.
and you guys, I don't. This is another episode, but like the Bible was written. Granted, it's the Word of God, but it's written by humans. It's been translated over thousands of years by humans, and we are humans. As humans, are fickle and not perfect. So a translation of what you're reading. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent.
It's a hard topic to.
He's got to be
try to
taking
be
some
succinct
stuff.
on because there's a lot of different, and nobody knows that they're right about what they believe.
Right. I
They
think
believe
that's
they're
fair.
right.
That's fair to this dude.
Yeah.
That he said, "This is what I believe.
But
This
also-
is why I believe it." But he's being very literal.
Yes, but it didn't seem like he had done a lot of research on it.
This could circle back to shut up and dribble. I guess in his case it'd be shut up and
backpedal.
Yeah, backpedal and
My
knock the
question
pass
is,
down. or
how
intercept.
did they even get on this topic in this interview at the Combine?
As the stat guy, I will go as far as to say I think the Combine kind of mirrors the pre-Super Bowl
They
stuff
just ask
where
crazy things.
you're looking for some outlandish responses. And
So-
I don't know if these people, some people may be plants for teams
Yeah,
that they put them in the media. I think the Combine is obviously a free-for-all, especially in 2024. But yeah, they're trying to ask some crazy questions would be my guess.
My last comment on it, and y'all can comment if you want, but it almost takes more belief to think there's not planets than. Now we can argue, because I'll argue about the first moon landing, but to say that there's no moon to go land on, and there's no Mars and all that, it takes almost more belief, or more power to believe than just accepting that there are other planets.
Paul, did we land on the moon when we say we landed on the moon?
Yeah, we did.
Were you there?
Not beforehand.
wasn't there.
Not beforehand, not afterwards. We didn't get there earlier and say, oh, oops, we deleted the footage and go back, or we actually we went there and
To
didn't
beat
have
the Soviets?
Yeah, we went there and didn't have footage, so we created do you believe every aspect of it?
I do.
I like
Yeah.
Pack's last statement there.
You believe every aspect of it.
I think I do, yeah.
We
Believe
went.
everything they tell you.
Everything they tell you.
I need to.
Oh, okay.
to be
Hang on
my
a second.
polygraph.
Hang on a
Yeah,
second.
us polygraphers
Do,
are all.
are there?
Yeah.
I know
We
we
got
gotta
to
go.
eat,
I
so.
know we're on your time frame. Do you believe in any conspiracy theory? We need Big Brain on here. We can talk about this. She's a conspiracy theorist.
You
right?
would have had Big Brain just in a tizzy with
Yeah.
the can opening fiasco.
That's right.
Yeah, do you believe in any
Any
conspiracy?
conspiracy theory?
None that I can really think of.
Just take it all at face value.
Believe it.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know which one I don't believe in, but I just can't believe everything.
I mean, landed
There
on
may
the
be
moon.
something, but
Yeah.
nothing that really jumps out.
We
mean,
landed on the moon and the footage was fake. I think
But,
Pack said it.
but can a
perfect.
man who wants you to believe his instrument ever say those conspiracy theories?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could have said, I think polygraphs are a big conspiracy theory.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Just drop the mic.
That's it.
Don't believe anything.
Yeah.
Paul Wall, nothing.
No, I can't really think anything that.
Okay.
Nothing that
JFK? What about
there
JFK?
may be more to it.
Not
Okay.
more to
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, we
I'll accept that.
covered OJ, which I don't think it was a
it's
theory.
not a conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's just.
You believe that it came from that Rona came from the pangolins in the wet market, Paul?
No,
I don't
Chinese
know.
made that up.
Yeah.
See, there we go.
Well, I don't know that that's a conspiracy. For it to be a
The
conspiracy.
origins of the disease.
Yeah. I don't know that that's a conspiracy. I think for it to be a conspiracy, there has to be. Well, there's already disagreement among that. There's not a
So
generally
you're saying
accepted.
There's an accepted
I got you.
narrative, and
Yes.
then there's all this other evidence.
Yes,
that's trying
right.
to
There's
follow.
not an accepted narrative about the origins of that.
Sure.
Some people say it came from the lab. Some people say it came from a bat at the wet market.
I believe that it came from the
The
place
lab.
it was named after.
Yeah.
Well,
which
All
I
right.
think is pretty safe. But
Let's
Paul says, I believe this, and that's the
Let's
end of
get,
it. I respect that.
let's get Paul out of here, still employed and still,
Yeah, that's it.
and still on
What time?
time for his other engagements.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's 3:34. 15.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So anyways, we appreciate you coming on,
All
Paul.
right,
Wall.
yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Very insightful.
Yeah, it was
You-
an interesting
you
conversation.
didn't convince me of anything about
He
my
wasn't-
drives, but it was very insightful.
He wasn't going to.
Yeah.
well, appreciate everybody listening. We'll try to do it again hopefully next week.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
no destruction
Yeah. And we're
downstairs
gonna
of the
go.
studio.
Yep, we're gonna go check that out. And appreciate everybody coming. We'll catch you next time. Thanks everybody.
That's it.